Hello, and welcome to my Python tutorial video, where I'll be going over a mixture of nested if statements, if, elif, and else statements, and recapping on basic if statements as well. But before I do, please remember to click that like button on this video, subscribe to my channel, and share this channel far and wide. And if you like my work so far, please remember to support me by clicking on buy me a coffee, where you can donate if you want to support me. I'll be very appreciative of your support. Without further ado, I'm going to go into a mixture of nested if statements and if, elif, and else statements. And I'm going to go through a series of tasks to help you do that. So we're going to use this example as a hint to help us with the challenges. But the first task is going to require us to use this code as below. Because what we need to do is copy the code and paste it into a replit, which we've got. So what we need to do is predict what the code will do when we run it. So I think when we run it, it's going to ask us to put in age. If age is under 18, it's going to say we should be in school. Otherwise, it's going to ask us, are we over 65? If we're not, then we need a job. Otherwise, we can retire. So that's what I think it's going to do. So I'm going to run it a few times. Enter my age, 12, should be in school. Okay, I'm 69, I can retire. But what if I'm 30 or 28? So it's over 18, but it's under 65, so it's going to print, I need to get a job. So that is what the code has done now that we've ran that. So this program is using a nested if statement. So if I have typed in any number over 18, it's going to go into the else, and it's going to check to see if I'm under 65. So it's another condition within a condition. So that's what you could say nested is. And that's where so nesting's taking place below the else. And the less than operator, that means any number less than the number we've declared. So now we need to modify the program so that it works exactly the same but uses elifs instead of a nested if statement. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and I'm going to move that, and I'm going to say elif age greater than or equal to 18, or age is less than 65. So let's see what this does. So I'm going to say I'm 40. It's going to tell me to get a job. This is between 18 and 65. 18, it's going to tell me to get a job. I'm 16, should be in school. If I'm 69, so if I'm, say, 69, that is where we got the problem. So, or age is less than or equal to 65. So I should type 69, and that should say I can retire, which it hasn't. It's because I put in an or, so I need to put in the and instead. So if I was to say 69, I can retire. The problem I had was with the or logical operator. I should have had an and in there instead. So it's met both conditions. 69, I can retire. I'm 40, I need to get a job. I'm 65, get a job. Well, what I could do is change that to 64. So 64, get a job. 65, I can retire. So by doing a bunch of tests, iterative testing, we can see what part of the code needs to be fixed. Okay? So that is the task. Let's see what the next one is. We need to make a program that will find the largest of three numbers. So what I'm going to do is we need the largest of 3. So what we will have is we need to ask users to input a number. So input 3 numbers. And what's going to happen here is going to go into these if statements. So we know 23 is not larger than 24. And 23 is certainly not larger than 30. So we're going to go into the else. That's not going to be the case, so it's just going to go, it's not going to go into the elif, so it's going to go into the else. Hence 30. If we were to do 30, 24, 23, num1 is larger than num2 and num1 is larger than num3. Hence 30, so num1. If I was to do 24, 30, 23, we know num1 is larger than num2, or num2 is larger than num1, and num2 is larger than num3, so it's going to take us into num2. So we can see that if we go into the first one, largest number is going to be num1. elif, largest number is going to be num2, or largest is going to be num3. And it's going to print out whatever the largest number is based on our inputs. So that's another one. So we've done all of number 11 here. Let's see number 12, shall we? So we need to create a Python program that asks the user, is it going to rain? Is it raining? If you answer yes, say it's windy. If you answer yes again, say it's too windy to take an umbrella, otherwise we ask them to take an umbrella. If it's not raining, ask if it's sunny. If it is, say put on sunscreen. If not, have a nice day. So we're going to say raining, and we're going to input. Is it raining? So if raining is equal to yes, or we can have raining is equal to yes. We're going to do an input same windy. We're going to have input same is it windy. If windy is equal to that, or windy is equal to that, we're going to print out too windy for an umbrella. Otherwise, we're going to say take an umbrella. So that's what we got there. So that's what we've got there for if it's raining. And now we're going to ask, is it sunny? So else, we're going to say input, is it sunny? If sunny is equal to yes, or sunny is equal to yes, print, put on sunscreen. Otherwise, have a nice day. And let's see if we've printed all that out. Yes, we have. So let's run it. Is it raining? No. Is it sunny? No. Have a nice day. Nope. Yes. Put on sunscreen. Is it raining? Yes. Windy? Yes. Right. What I should have done there was put a yes there too. So is it raining? Yes. Is it windy? No. Take an umbrella. So we've done nice nested if statements here. And that is the task. So that is task 12. Task 13, series of else ifs this time. So we need to create a Python program where we're asking the user to select red, green, or blue. If we entered any of these, we say we selected red. If we entered the greens, say we selected green. If we entered blue, blue, or B, say we selected blue. If we enter anything else, we say it's an incorrect choice. So, what we need is a string variable called color. We're going to input that as enter a color. So then we're going to say if color is equal to red, or color is equal to red, or color is equal to R. We're going to print and say you selected red. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to put an elif. And we're going to say green, green, or G. And then in here we're going to say you selected green. Then we're going to do elif. And instead of green, we're going to say, is it blue, blue, or B? And then we're going to say you selected blue. Else, then we're going to print and say incorrect choice. So we're going to run that. I'm going to enter blue, selected blue. G, selected green. Red, selected red. Blue, selected blue. So it's to select yellow. Incorrect choice. So I've just done some of the tests, and we know the program works really well there. Okay? And that is essentially the Python task. Right, let's try the next one. We need to write a Python program that asks the user to enter 3 numbers. The final answer needs to be based on this formula. So what we're going to do, we're going to use our common sense and copy that formula in. We need to print out what the final number is, and we need a basic if statement saying the grade is greater than 8, print out well done, otherwise you failed. So we will need the grade, so then we'll need M1 equals int input, enter a number. And then what we can do, we can copy and we can paste these. And then I'm just going to change them to M2, M3. Then I'm going to do if grade is greater than 8. We're going to do a print statement saying, well done, you passed. Otherwise, we're going to do a print, we're going to do print and say failed, better luck next time. So what we're going to do, I'm going to run it. I'm going to do 4 plus 5 is 9, times 3 is 18, so it's 27, so we passed. So to do 1 plus 2 is 3. Times 2 is 7. So as it's lower than 8, it's going to say you failed. So to do 3 and 1 times 1, you failed. So to do 3 times 2 times 2, you passed. Because 3 times 2 is 6, 3 plus 2 is 5, times 2 is 10, so that means we've passed. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we do the grade program here in Python. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to have, there's lots of mistakes in this program, so we need to run the following code. And then what we need to do is to correct it. So we need to look for the mistake, correct it, test the correction to the mistakes. So we might need new code to make it work. So we know doesn't work. So for spent, input the amount of money you spent. We could easily do a float. And we will need to do end brackets. And we need to do that. If spent is greater than 100, you need a colon for if statements. And then what we'll need to do, you've got loyalty cards used here, but you actually need the loyalty card variable for the code to work. So we got that. Then we got loyalty card, which is incomplete. So we could just do loyalty card is Y, or loyalty card is equal to yes. And we'll need colons, enter, and that's how we get our print statement. And we will also need an elif, because we need to indent the print, and then we got the else, which we need to print. And now what we need, elif spent 100, and we need spent less than 200, for instance. It's going to say, have you got a loyalty card? If not, so that's going to say something like, you got a 20% discount. And then what we need to do is put in a elif else. But there's a couple of problems. We need a print statement saying you get a 30% discount. So let's try the code out. Enter how much we spent. So I'm going to say I spent £230.46. Loyalty card, yes. If I don't have a loyalty card, I get no discount. Or I could say I get 10%. So I'm going to try 230.45. Do I have a loyalty card? Nope. 5%. I spent £22.34. Yes, I got a loyalty card, 20%. It's less than 100. And what I should have done there, should have spent over 100. Should have spent under 100. Or spent, so what I should have done here, if spent less than 100 in the first one, and in the elif, could have had more than or greater than or equal to, and here I could have had less than or equal to 200 here. So let's try 230.45. Which isn't going to work here. So let's say I spent 22.34. Have I got a loyalty card? Yes. 15%. 22.43. Nope. 5%. 5%. Okay, let's try 22.34. I'm going to type T. That's going to say goodbye because it's not met any of those conditions. So we know that works. Let's try 101.20. Do I have a loyalty card? Yes. 20%. Let's try 101.20 again, and I'm going to say no. 10% discount. Let's say I got 102.4, and then I'm going to type in any random letter. No discount. So I could say no discount, or I could just say goodbye. So that is how. So this is what I would do in relation to mending all the mistakes. I haven't given a specific scenario for this. All I want to do for a task like this is to see if you can spot the mistakes and how to actually fix them. So you could have 5% discount, 10%, 20%, you have whatever you want in the code as long as it works. So in a task like this, all I would have been looking for is to make sure this program actually worked. Okay, number 16. So we need to write a Python program to code rock, paper, scissors game that two players can play by taking it in turns to select rock, paper, or scissors. Program then needs to compare the entries, print out the player's choice, and declare who's won. So this is where we'll need to find out the random module and how that works. So what we're going to do, we're going to copy this code in first, because we are going to need it. So this is what we got so far. So what we will need is we will need to import the random. So that will allow us to do random numbers based on the rock, paper, scissors. So what are we doing with all this code? So we got the skeleton code, which we've copied. So we need to read through the code and we've got to understand what it's meant to do. If we delete the code, you're screwed. So we got a while loop there. So while the whole thing here is true, it's going to keep playing the game until it's false. Once it's false, we don't play it. So we copied the code and we've read the instructions. So now we need to ask you to input the choice of rock, paper, or scissors based on the following code. So you notice if choice is the 1, so there's a little hint there. So we need to do choice equals int input enter a choice. So we've got the choice. So is choice greater than 3 or less than 1? It's going to make the user enter a choice again. So we have to enter 1, 2, or 3. And then we're initializing the choices made, getting a computer to do it, and that should pretty much work there. So we're going to enter. What we will need, however, is to input the choice, is to do the if statement initializing the choices made by the user when they actually input a number. So we got the user choice. So if the choice is 1, it's going to print out rock. If it's 2, it's going to say paper. Otherwise, it's going to be scissors. And then it'll print out the choice name and return in a computer. So let's say I was to enter 2. It's going to be paper, rock, scissors. I'm going to stop the code because we've not done yet. Now we need to do the computer's turn. So the computer choice can be any one of the 3. But we need to print that out. We print out the user choice. Now we need a variable called comp choice. And that's where we use the rand int. So now we need to do if comp choice is 1. That's the one example. Then the choice name is going to be rock. Then the elif and else is going to be paper, then scissors. So let's have a go. 2. Right, doesn't print out the computer choice yet because we haven't actually printed it out. So we have to print out the computer choice. Hence, we would need to print the computer choice. So we've got what the computer choice is, and then we've got our choice versus their choice. So let's also do 2, paper. Computer choice was scissors. User choice, computer choice was scissors, so rock beat scissors. I chose 3. I chose scissors, and it chose scissors. So now we've got a good idea of what we need to do there. So now we need to print out the condition for winning. So we need a sequence that looks like this to start with. So if choice is equal to 1 and a comp choice is equal to 2, we say paper wins. So this is the condition for winning. So we got our condition for winning. Then elif paper is equal to 2 and comp choice is to 3. We're going to say rock wins. And if comp choice is equal to 1 and comp choice is equal to 3, we say rock wins. 3 and 1, rock wins. Otherwise, scissors is going to win. So we're trying to do selections based on every single outcome, or every single likely outcome. Then what we need to do, use another if statement saying whether the user or the computer wins. And then we're going to ask the user if they want to play again. So we're saying the user wins or the computer wins, and then we're going to ask the user, do they want to play again? And if the user inputs N or N, condition is going to be true. So we need something like this. And let's see that code in action. So we go if answer is no N, or answer is N, or we could have answer is equal to no, or answer is equal to no. N means no. So let's try 1. We got rock, so the computer wins. I'm going to play again, and I'm going to pick 2. Computer choice was scissors, so the computer wins that one. I want to play that again. Rock versus paper, computer wins. Yes, computer wins. Unlucky for me this time, but hey, that's what random's for. Are you sure? Yes. Thanks for playing. So that is the essence of the rock, paper, scissors game. Okay? How many more of these we got to do? 17. Company wants new recruits who should roughly be within the age of 18 to 28. So we need to write a program that asks the current year and the year of birth of the user. The program then displays a message saying whether the user is eligible to apply or not. So nice and easy. Take the rock, paper, scissors code away, and we will essentially do that. So let's have a look at the job. So we need the age and the date of birth. So it's a nice basic if else. So in this program, I am getting the user to enter the age. So if age is 17 and I was born and the birth year is 2006, not eligible, too young. If I say 18, born in 2005, I am eligible because it's equal to 18. If I was to type 24, and I was to say 1999, eligible, because I'm between 18 and 28. I'm going to say I'm 28, 1995, eligible. If I was to run this and say 38 and born in 85, not eligible, as it's not met the condition between 18 and 28. So the way we've done it is, age is int input, asking them how old they are. Date of birth, int input. You could easily do year of birth, just to make things easier. So what's the date of birth? We could just do year. And if your age is greater than or equal to 18, and it's less than or equal to 28, it's going to go into the if. Otherwise, it's going to say you're not eligible for the job. Nice and easy if-else statement here. Okay? Next task, we need to write a program that asks the user to enter a year and then displays a message saying whether the year is a leap year or not. So this is the criteria we need. Determine whether the year is divisible by 100. If it is a leap year, it is a leap year if and only if it's also divisible by 400. So 2000 is a leap year and 2100 isn't. If it's not divisible by 100, then it's a leap year, and if and only if it's divisible by 4. So 2008, that's a leap year. 2009, it's not. So how are we going to code this? So I'll show you my example. So we're going to end. So in this example code, I got year equals int input. So it's going to say enter the year. So I'm going to do 2000. It's divisible by 400, and it's also divisible by 4. And whilst both, so 2000 is a leap year. If, however, I decide to put 2008 modulus 4 and a year modulus 100 is not equal to 0, it's a leap year. If I decide to put 1995, it's not a leap year. So we've got an if, elif, and else statement here. So if you see a percentage, that is the modulo. So let's have a look at what the modulo is. So the modulo, it's an operator where you can run code at specific intervals inside a loop. And you would use that normally to get the remainder of a division. So that's modulo in Python. Modulo, it finds a remainder when one integer is divided by another. So nice and simple definition there. Okay? So that's the leap year one. Let's try number 19. A company sells a product that retails for £25 a unit. Quantity discounts are given according to the following table. So if it's 10 to 19, 20% discount. 20 to 49, 30%, and so on. So we have to write a program that asks them to enter a number of products bought and displays the total cost before the discount given, and the actual amount that's actually charged. So I'm going to show you my working example so you can see how it works. Yep, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to say, so it's £25 a unit, so let's say I bought 9. That shouldn't say 50% discount. 225, that should not be 50%. So what we can do, we can say less than or equal to 9. So let's try. So I decide to buy 9 products. 225, no discount. So that should not even be giving me any discount at all. So what that should do there, the amount charged So what should happen here? That should print out up here instead. So I'm going to try it. And I'm going to try that. So let's say I was to do 9. That should not give me any discount. So that should just be no discount, regardless. So we don't really need that. So let's say it's 9. That should be no discount. Let's say it's to do 5. That should, again, no discount. Okay, let's say I decide to buy 13. Yep, that will take you to 20%. And let's say I decide to do 54. That's going to give you a big discount. Let's say I decide to do 25. That'd be 30%. And let's say I decide to do 16, 20%. And let's say I decide to do 104. That'll be a 50% discount. And you can see the calculations of these are wrong there. So the idea of something like this, so let's have a go. 100. That should be 50% discount, and that should be divided by. Okay? So what we need to be doing is, I'm going to get my C++ example, as I've did this before, and I've come across an error like that before. So I'm going to get that up, and I'm going to get discount given. And yes. So this is the type of thing I need to have. So what I should be having is discount, amount charged. So I should be having amount charged. And take away the discount there. So I shouldn't be having that. So amount charged. So that doesn't need to be there. And then that doesn't need that. So the amount charged. So we might need amount charged. Just do that if you can. Yep, so let's try that. So I'm going to say 9, no discount. So that should not be doing that. So that should not be doing that. So that should work that out, giving us what the discount is. So let's give this a try. 9. That shouldn't be giving us any discount. So that should be 0. That should be 20. That should be 30. And that should be 40. That should be 50. So let's have a look. Let's also do 9. Discount 0, so that's fine. Let's do 8. Discount's fine, so that's 0. I'm going to do 11. Discount's 20%. Let's also do products bought 25, 30%. Let's also do 54. That's a discount, 40% discount. And let's also do 100. Nice. 50% discount, that's nice. So we know that works. So what I should have done is, rather than have the discount calculated down here, which is what I would have done, what I should have done was to charge the discount, was to calculate the discount in each if statement, each condition, do the amount charged, the total cost, then take away that discount. So we got that discount, but in this case we got no discount. So let's say us to do 20, so discount is 20%, so 20 times the total cost, and divide that by 100. Then I would do the amount charged, which is the total cost minus the discount. So it prints out the discount, and hence it's saying, right, we've got a 20% discount there. If we go into this elif, greater than or equal to 20 and less than or equal to 49, it's going to be 30% times total charge, total cost before the discount, divided by 100. So the amount charged is total cost for the discount, take away the discount, showing us what discount we're going to get, and then it's 30. And based on that discount, it's going to be discount given, it's discount times the total cost before. Hence, that gives us what the amount is actually charged with the discount. Okay, so it's quite a long-winded task, this one. And I mean a long-winded one. But it's actually a nice task to do once you can get your head around it. And that's that task. Now for the next one. We need to write and test a program that prompts and reads a car's engine size in cubic meters, and if it's diesel or a petrol car. If it is, it then calculates the cost as follows. If we say it's diesel, these are the running costs. And if we say it's not a diesel, these are the running costs here, and it displays the running costs based on the input down here. So what do we have to do? Well, let's have a look. So this is quite a bit involved. So let's see what we have. We need two input variables, so size of the engine. So let's say I'm going to do 1899. And I'm going to say, is it diesel? I'm going to say a 1. So it's going to go, the cost is going to amount to 30. It's below 1900. Let's say I decide to do 2000. And I decide to go into 1. It's going to go to 40. And then let's say I decide to do 2110. So it's going to be in one of the third elifs. So if I was to enter a 1, then it's going to go into running cost will be 50. And that's all the diesel ones for the nested ifs. Let's run it. So let's say I was to do 1899 and I was to type in 2. So it's going to go into the elif and it's going to print out 35. Let's say I want to do 2000 and I'm going to type in 2. It's going to go into 45. Then I'm going to run it again, 2110, and I'm going to enter a 3. I can't do that, but I can put an else statement and say incorrect option, just to make it more complete. So let's say I do 2150 and I decide to enter a 3. Incorrect option. Let's say I decide to do 2150 and I enter a 2, which is if it's a petrol. So it's going to go into 55. And that is how we do the whole of the car engine and whether it's a petrol or a diesel car. Okay, so we've got the variable name. I'm surprised it actually works with the semicolons. This is meant to be C++. In Python, you don't need semicolons. C++ you need semicolons, sorry. Python, you don't. So what have we got? We've got a variable, fixed variable. We've got the size of the engine, that's one input. And we've got the car fuel, which is another input, integer input variable. And then based on what we input, it's going to select the C if it goes into any of these these statements that will be outputted. And that is how the car engine size program works. Okay? Let's go into task 21, shall we? Right, we need to write a program that will prompt the user to enter a module mark and then read the percentage marks in. Then it has to figure out the mark equates to a fail, which is less than 40, between 40 and 60 a pass, between 60 and less than 70 a merit, 70 or more distinction. So that's what we need to do there. So we would need to do integer variable called mark, and we're going to do int input, enter the number of marks. Nice and simple. Do if marks is less than 40, we're going to print fail. And if you can do it in brackets, you don't. If marks is greater than or equal to 40, and marks is less than or equal to 59, we're going to print pass. And if marks, if it's equal to 60, and marks is 69, we're going to print and we're going to say merit. And if marks are over equal to 70, we're going to do print and we're going to say distinction. Else, we're just going to say incorrect option. So let's have a go, shall we? I'm going to enter 100. I'm going to enter 1.1. Can't do that. So in such a case, we have to enter a string or anything like that. We don't need that, basically. But marks are going to be out of 100. And marks equal to 100 distinction. Then we could have our else, and we could print incorrect choice. So let's have a look, shall we? I'm going to say, well, I got 39. It's a fail. 40%, that's a pass. 53, that's a pass. 59, still a pass. 60, it's not going to go in there. This is not a fail. It's not a pass, so it's going to go into a merit because greater than or equal to 60. I'll do 65. That's going to go straight into the second LF. Says to do 69. It's going to go into merit. If it's a 70, it's going to go into distinction. If it's 71 because it's greater than 70, it's a distinction, and it's still below 100. So if I was to type in 100, it's equal to 100, so that's still a distinction. If I decide to enter 204, it's an incorrect choice because it can only be out of 100. Okay? And that is our marking system. That's our marking system program there, done. Got the last task in the nested ifs. We need to write a program that displays the following menu and accepts an integer value as an input. So we need to calculate the area of a circle, area of a rectangle, area of a triangle, or just quit. And this is where we can import some sophisticated systems. So we can import math, sys, OS, and time. OS allows us to check the operating system. Time will allow us to manipulate time values. So time.sleep, that will let the code pause a little bit before it continues to compile. We've got sys, so that provides access to some objects used or manipulated by the interpreter, and to functions that will interact with the interpreter. But never mind that, let's see how it works. I'll also enter a 4, that's just going to quit. Serves to enter a 1, that's using the time sleep, and then we're going to enter the radius of a circle, so 2.3. And it's outputted the radius of a circle. Let's say I want to do number 2. I'm going to do 3.4, 2.4. We've got the area of a rectangle there. Let's say to do number 3. I'm going to do 2.3 times. Can't do that. Why? Because it needs to be an integer. We'll do 3, so 23, 12. So we've got the area of a triangle going on there. But let's have a look back at the rectangle one first. You can add in a while loop. Even though this video isn't about loops, but we can add it in. So let's say I was to do 2.3, 2.3, 2.3. It's going to make me type in something different. And until it does that, it's going to make me keep typing in over and over again. This is in the while loop. But I will get into a video on loops in Python in another video. And loops is what we'll be going to in the next video I do on Python. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please remember to click that like button, subscribe to my channel, share this channel far and wide, and if you want to support me further, please consider donating to my Buy Me a Coffee account. And I look forward to making the next video for you very soon. Thank you very much. Goodbye for now.